There's a million of those who won't let us be, but they're not gonna see me bleed. Cause baby, I got you.
Here we go.
We're just spinning around.
Spinning round to go this way, guys.
Going this way.
This way, look.
This way.
Oh my god.
Baby, you are my life.
So is that a yes?
Everything.
Aww.
Will you marry me?
Yes. Oh my god.
Come on, take.
Did she say yes?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes. Yay. Okay, you gotta tell them all she said yes. Oh my god. Congratulations, guys. Thank you.
It's a good job you said yes, because if you say no, you have to go.
That's it, you have to jump out. Oh my. I've been like relaxed and chill all day. You guys are all like panicked.
It's the dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try, but they can never take me down. Ooh, cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I will tell them what I'm feeling forevermore. I don't care about the feeling.
Hi, I'm Lloydine.
And I'm Heidi.
And we are
The
U-Haulers. So,
So,
do you have something to show them?
I do. New piece of bling in the family.
So you just saw me eloquently drop the ring. Who knows how many feet in the air. I mean, we ended up going like almost 5,000, but at that point we weren't,
Right.
Yeah, dropping down on my hands and knees in a panic.
I mean, I had a completely blissful.
Yeah, so let's start at the
Balloon
beginning.
ride.
Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
So we're engaged. I mean,
Again.
It's
expensive, 2 girls.
It is. Lesbians, no one ever told me. No one said, think about this when you come out, Lloydine. Because, with a dude. Rubber rings are popular right now.
Which we have, let's just be fair.
For the gym. But that's all they have. I know someone that's all he has is a black
Rubber ring.
And
then we know someone.
Like this sounds not right.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. But no, the silicone-based rings,
silicone.
right? Yeah,
That's
silicone.
better. Let's say silicone. So that's popular now. Wood.
Yeah, like inlaid and it's really. And they're cool looking. They look great.
They are. So.
And they're way less expensive.
Yeah. So even if I was, I know a lot of lesbians that one would want the bling and the other one would want the masculine ring. So if we could just stick to that. So many options, but the one we chose. Same with wedding dress shopping. You both want to wear a wedding dress. Here we go again. It's not just renting a tux, ladies. It is a real thing, this.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Skincare. I really pride myself in skincare. It's like a thing I'm very obsessed with. I never thought about the fact that I get with a girl and she'll be like, well, I want to do that skincare too. And now we're times that price by 2, which these are real things. I mean,
Thank God you.
Dudes are like, I age better with my wrinkles. I like my lines.
Yeah, I don't like my lines.
So this is it is a new lesson that I'm having. But I digress. Okay, so in our, more expensive ways of 2 rings, we've heard a lot of, where's Heidi's ring? When does Heidi get a ring? What's Heidi's ring going to be? Does Heidi get a ring? Are you going to propose? Why doesn't Heidi have a ring? Oh my goodness. And I was like, patience, people. How can I plan a surprise if you're in our business all the time asking me right in front of her? Because then someone gets a little impatient.
No, that was not impatience. I was trying to
She starts
stop the
wearing
questions.
a fake diamond band that I had. I don't even remember why, or the girls had. I don't even know. We had somewhere in the house, and she started putting it on. I was like, oh my gosh, she's wearing a fake engagement band. I've got the hint. Need to get on this.
That wasn't what I was doing.
I was like, oh, just hang on. So, but I threw her off well.
Yeah, so she had a friend text me and say, hey, I'm planning a birthday weekend for my girlfriend. Do you guys want to come? And I was like, oh, okay, maybe. So I said, hey, Dean, this is going on. And she was like, what? Okay. And so we were...
months and months ago, I contacted one of her really good, she's like family, like a sister to her. And I just said, hey, I'm going to propose to Heidi. And so let's plan this weekend. I want to do it in a winery and in a hot air balloon. And she's scared of heights. So she was like, oh,
not me,
crap.
my friend.
Yeah, she's scared of heights. And so I'm like, well, I didn't know that part until I already booked it.
Yeah.
So she's like, anything for Heidi. So I basically spent months of writing her and telling her what to text Heidi. And then Heidi would come tell me what she just got text. And then if our friend would forget something, I would then retext, say, okay, but you forgot this piece. And then Heidi would come tell me a new piece of information. And so I basically spent my life rehearing everything. It was kind of like a groundhog's experience.
And she did so well that I didn't for a second think she was feeding information.
No, I'm really good at this stuff.
I
should have it as a job. So.
And similar to Dean, right? Like, I don't want to ruin any surprises.
Right.
Like, I don't want to try to figure it out. That's not what I'm trying to do. But there was nothing to figure out. Like, there was never like a one moment, right at the beginning, she had said, we're going to go to this winery. And so, of course, Dean and I jump on and we go on the computer and we're looking at this winery. And we're like, oh my gosh, there's hot tubs in every room and how great. And so I texted her, like, thinking I was kind of going to be gushing with her, like, oh, hey, there's hot rooms in every room. And she's like, hot tubs, we're down. And I was like, how does she not know?
Yeah, so the friend was like surprised by the hot tubs. She was supposed to be planning the whole event.
Right. And that was the only moment.
And so Heidi was like, literally to me, she goes, wouldn't she know that there's hot tubs? And I'm like,
she probably didn't look into it.
Like, she's high. Like, don't worry about it.
And so after that, I just never, in fact, after Dean proposed in the hot air balloon, I was like, wait, so this isn't for the birthday?
Well, you're jumping ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, so she, in that moment, Heidi was like, well, I think she's just kind of a laid back planner that just kind of found a place and wants to surprise her girlfriend and have us come. And Heidi was so honored that we're the only couple invited.
I know. I was like, wow.
She was like, I can't believe for her birthday she's only inviting us. I feel so special. And I'm like, yeah, because I only invited them. So we planned this thing. I got the honor of influencing. So we went to Temecula and we we're both with South Coast Winery and Carter Estate Winery. Mm-hmm. And so they did amazing jobs. They let me know. They gave us a VIP room. They put us where literally we opened the doors and walked right into the winery. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was so gorgeous.
Yeah, if you haven't seen our pictures on Instagram or the reel of it, definitely go take a look at U-Haulers Instagram. So we got to do this winery where every morning the hot air balloons would just come right over the winery or the vineyard right where we were.
And it was so quiet that you could hear the sound of the fire.
The fire.
Yeah, the fire
is amazing. Yeah. So it was really great. And so we planned this whole thing, and then I planned it, and then I promptly forgot that it was coming up.
Which really threw me off. So the week of, I was like, okay, babe, so we're leaving on...
Well, the weekend before.
Yeah.
So it was maybe a Thursday or Friday, and she said something about...
Next week,
on Wednesday when we leave. And I was like, what do you mean on Wednesday when we leave? Full panic, but just kept my composure. But I was like, well, I have nail appointments to make. I have hair appointments to make. I have... Oh my gosh, I have text to send. I have because it's you know how you can only plan so much in advance, and then when you get closer, you got to get back on it.
Yeah,
I never got back on it. I went detail, and then just was thought it was a ways away, and
So of course she's kind of in this panic, and she's making nail appointments, and I'm working like
Yeah,
full
and I
time
do that
working,
anyway. Like, I'm the type that I would be like, oh, I want to tan, I want to do this. But Heidi would be more like laid back about it. Like, if I do it, I do. If I don't, I don't. Well, of course, I'm caring more if she does it than me.
like having my nails done, having my
Yeah, so I'm trying to get, like, I'm like, how am I going to get her to do this? Because she will always, so I would make the appointment. And so I talk her into it. Like, why don't you just come too? And she's like, well, I'm busy, but okay. But then it kept being like, well, if they can't fit both of us in, she's like, you take it. And I'm like, how am I going to convince her if they can't fit both of us in, you have to take it? And then
we got really lucky because that never really
it
happened.
worked out. But there was this moment where I was like, oh, because she had seen this hairstyle. I mean, if you're watching on video, you see she has a new hair. New hair did over here. So she sees this hairstyle and decides she wants to cut 11 inches off her hair. Yeah. And that's what she's going to want for the wedding. This is what she wants. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm wanting to get her to get her hair done. And she's like, well, it can wait. I'm busy. It can wait a couple weeks. I'll do it later. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm going in. Why don't you just get that new hairstyle? So I was like, this will be a good way to talk her into it. Well, so she was like, well, now? I should do that now? And I'm like, well, you don't want to wait, too long to close to the wedding. This way you can try it out and you can grow it back out if you don't like it, whatever. And so she was like, well, okay, if she can get me in. So I'm desperately trying to get this lady to like switch around appointments, get her in. And it works out. But then the day of, Heidi says, she's like, do you think this will look good? Do you think I should do this? And
Do you think it's going to make my face look too round?
Yeah, and I was like, well, no, I think it'll be great. And then she says, well, it's fine. You know what? I'm excited. And this was when she was kind of thinking, will I do it? Will I not? And then she says, I'm going to do it. And I was like, okay. And she said, because you know what? This is just Jill's birthday. It's just our friend's birthday. It's not like it's when it was our engagement or our wedding where it's going to be a memory I look back on for forever. So I don't need to worry about if I look good. There'll just be a few pictures. I'm now in full panic. I'm like, oh shit. So then I'm like, the whole day before she went in, I'm like, so how do you feel about getting your haircut today? Are you still thinking you should do it? She's like, do you think I should wait? Well, no, I just want to make sure this is your idea. I just want to be really make sure that you were like, I want to do this. Not that you're like, Dean wants me to do this. Like, I was like, God forbid, do not have this be my idea. Just please have it be yours.
It wasn't, though. It was not your idea at all. Like, I'm the one that saw it, and I was like...
No, but it was my idea to have it done that day.
Right now, yeah.
So I was like, let's just, if you don't want to do it this week, that's fine. If you want to wait. She's like, no, I really was disappointed when I thought I wasn't going to. I really think this is a sign I should do it. And I said, okay. I said, I'm with you. And so then the whole time she was getting it done, I kept texting. I was like, so we like it? We don't like it? And she was not helping because she was very much like...
I couldn't figure out why she was so invested. Like, normally she's busy. I'd text when I'm on my way home and I'd be like, yeah, I love it. It's great. I'm coming home.
To be fair, I would have been just because I was excited about this I like big change.
Yeah.
I'm kind of big on that. So I was like, what are you thinking? And she would say, well... we're going to have to do it more cut. We're going to have to try it a little bit more after we finish the color. Like, well, we're going to have to tweak some stuff. I'm not really sure yet. I'm like, oh no, she hates it. I ran over to our friend's house.
You did?
Well, because they had the ring, so I had to go over there.
Okay.
And I was like, so she's getting her hair chopped off 11 inches right now. They're like, oh. And they're like, that's exciting. I'm like, yeah. And she says it's no big deal because it's not like it'll ruin pictures, if she doesn't like it. Because she's not, like we're getting engaged. And they go, oh. So yeah, luckily she loved it. She came home very excited.
Yeah, I loved it.
When you see our engagement picture, I mean, it had just been done. It was like she looks like a model. It's amazing. You gotta see it.
You gotta stop saying that. As a model, you cannot say that I look like a model. You just gotta stop saying it.
She looks amazing.
No, yeah.
Check it out and let me know. She looks amazing.
No, yeah. I loved it and I felt really sassy and fabulous and like it was, I felt like, oh, I have a style again. I've just kind of had long hair for a really long time. And
as you know, when I met her, she cut all her hair off. So
yeah,
it's kind of, bringing it back to when we met. So all that to say, luckily the hair worked out. And we go. And there was one moment that, the resort was fabulous. But there was this moment where right when we arrive, this... lady walks out from the office of the resort and gets on her walkie-talkie, and she goes, "The VIPs have arrived." And she didn't think we could hear her.
And I turned to Dean and I was like, why are we VIPs? I was like, what did Michelle
I don't
do?
know. Michelle must have booked something amazing. I don't know if this is through her work. I was like, I don't know. That's great. But yeah, so they were amazing. I got an influence from both resorts the whole time we were there. I absolutely loved it.
It was fantastic.
We got a couple of massages. We went to a wine tasting. I do not like wine. It was, I'm going to a winery and I hate wine, but she loves wine and has always wanted to stay at a winery. But I love Moscato, but they didn't have Moscato. I looked ahead of time, so I'm like, oh no, what am I going to drink? And, I was like, I'll just have to do mixed drinks at the bar or whatever. And we went to this wine tasting and it was so amazing. And they did this whole huge tier special like they usually do for chocolate tasting. They did this big thing for us, and in fact we even felt special because we walked in and they said you're here for an appointment. And they said we don't usually so Michelle and them had walked in first, and they're like, we usually don't ever do appointments
for less than 10.
Yeah, for less than 10 people, and there's 4 of us there, and I walked up, and Michelle, just on walking up, she's like, well, I think they did it especially for us because we're VIP. And right when I walk up, she goes, oh, and she ran over and walked up with my picture and said,
like,
yes,
this is your party.
We have a wine tasting for you. And it was so amazing.
Yeah.
And
they just went all out. I mean, she was
there's
talking
like a
to us
gift
about all
shop, and
their
we bought like
wines
cheeses and crackers and chocolates. And then I fell in love with not 1, not 2, but 3 wines that were not Moscato. They did end up having Moscato, actually, which I was surprised. I thought I hadn't seen it. They did, and it was great, but I actually fell more in love with these other 3 wines. And one of them is a wine that Heidi will drink as well.
Yeah, because usually Dean's taste it runs way too sweet for me. I get a headache.
So now we brought home one we can share together that was aged in a bourbon barrel, right? Yeah, that was really exciting. So not only did we get 3 bottles of wine we came home with, that I chose that I want to drink, but we became wine members. So now we're like we're going back. Yeah. We're wine members all year. So that was exciting. So all that to say, we get there, it's going fabulous. There's pools and hot tubs. It's so great, right? And we go out to dinner. We had the most fabulous food ever. Every restaurant
the whole weekend,
Yeah, we couldn't even talk about, every restaurant was better and better and better and better. And then we come home, and now it's like the night before the proposal. And bless my friend's heart, all of a sudden she announces we're going to this restaurant. And I'm like, looking at her, and she's like, yep, we're going to this restaurant. And I'm like, and I'm realizing that the restaurant she's saying is the one I told her to do for the engagement night, that we already have a big reservation. So they're like, Heidi's on the phone, and I'm like nudging them, check your phone, check your phone, check your phone. I'm like, switch the restaurant. So they're like, oh, sorry. So they're like, we just want, and they played it so well. They're like, actually, I want to go to this steak restaurant. Change the whole plan.
And the thing about me, like when I travel, it's literally like phenomenal. Whatever we're doing, I love it. I love it. It's great. We're going to a steakhouse now? Fantastic. Like I don't, we
did it with the best people too, because they were so great about just like, you know what? I want to go to a steak restaurant. Like I don't want to go to that restaurant. We've changed our reservation. We're changing for this time. We're picking you up. And so she was just like, great, great, great. And we go home that night after, going out to this nice steak and everything. And we keep trying to turn on the lights, and no lights. And then we're like, oh, but it's this special kind of light where you have to stick a card in because they save energy and all that, electricity. And so I was like, okay, we're just doing it wrong. Nope. And so then we tried to call on the phone, dead. So we text our friend, we're like, is your power out? And they're like, yep, we thought we were the only one. So the whole resort power is out. And we're like, okay. So Heidi doesn't know why this is a big deal. But, thankfully, so my phone, I now look down, and usually I have tons of battery, but I'd been videoing a lot, influencing, doing a lot of videotaping, and so I'm like, my phone's about to die. Like, I barely have enough to send out a text. It will not make it through the morning. Thank God Heidi has had enough battery somehow, because usually hers is the one that dies.
All the time.
Because otherwise we have to wake up at 4 a.m. to go do this hot air balloon ride that Heidi thinks is a surprise for Jill for her birthday. And so I'm like, oh crap. So luckily we set her alarm. I just have to pray that it goes off. We have no backup alarm, that it doesn't die in the middle of the night. We have no way to charge it.
We can't call for a wake up call. We can't. Nothing.
And so I'm like, okay. I'm like, but you know what? I'm going to plug in my phone because I'm sure the power will come on in the middle of the night. It'll be no big deal. And then my phone will just charge. So you know what? I'm going to set, it's fine. So I do that. We wake up at 4 a.m. Still no power.
Well, my phone goes off and I said...
Oh, so her phone goes off and she rolls over and she looks at me in bed and she goes, baby. And I go, yeah. She goes, my alarm went off. And I have no idea why at 4 a.m. that would happen. And she rolls back to go back to bed. And I go, it's because we have to get up. What? Now, I told her this, but once she went to sleep, her brain was like, there's no way in hell that we're supposed to be getting up right now. So she
when it went off at 4
crawls
a.m.,
over to stare at me, and she's like,
no chance.
She's like, I don't know why it would go off at 4 a.m.
I'm like, I must have set this thing wrong. Like, I don't know
but
what
I'm going
is
back to
happening.
sleep. And I'm like, no, you are getting out of bed right now. And we are doing makeup. Okay, there's no lights, nothing.
So first I ran out to the car and turned it on.
Trying to charge a little bit. We're trying to text Michelle. She's been texting me, but she can't reach me. And I'm the one she's supposed to text because all the plans get sent to her because I didn't want anything to come to me and Heidi to see it. So it all gets sent to her and she has to update us. And I'm the one she's doing the surprise with. And she can't get through to me. So I'm like, why don't you text Michelle from your phone saying, since a lot of texts have been coming through me since she had just happened to be, luckily when she went to Texas while we were driving there, she texted both of us and Heidi was driving and didn't get the text.
Yeah.
And so she just kind of used that as like, well, now I just always text Dean. And so it didn't look weird that even though it's her friend. So I said, she's been texting me a lot. Why don't you just shoot her a text saying Dean's phone is dead? And that's all she had to say for Michelle to be like, oh, crap. And so then we are holding up one phone. We only have one phone that's not dead right now. And we hold a flashlight up to each other to do makeup. And
I'm holding the flashlight for her to do makeup.
And Heidi's like, you know what, I'm just not going to do makeup. I'm not going to worry about it. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, well, but I can't just tell her that. How am I supposed to tell her? No, you have to be made up. You're going to be for Jill, for her birthday. So I was like, well, I'm doing full makeup. And so Heidi's like, well, I'm just going to do a little day makeup. I'm like, well, I'm going to do full going out makeup. And she's like, okay.
So, I mean,
but at least got her to do makeup. Me saying that. She says, okay. She goes, well, I'll do some makeup for, Jill's pictures.
Well, because I didn't want to stand next to you in full makeup and be like this.
Yeah, which I think with the flashlight, no one ended up with full makeup. But we at least got some makeup on. We held the flashlights for each other. And then Jill and Michelle contact us and they're like, we have to go now. You're going to be late for Jill's birthday. We're backing up and you got to get in the car now. And I'm knowing that they're doing this because I've asked them to make sure and to do this. But I know this thing is like across the street and I know we have some leeway. They're just doing what I've asked. But I have some jewelry I need and Heidi is in a panic. You are going to make us late for Jill's birthday. We got to go. She's anxious. I'm like, it's okay, baby. I got you. We'll be right there. I just got to get some jewelry. She's like, oh my gosh. I mean, she's like panicking because I am obviously ruining their birthday. They invited us here. And I'm like, no, I really...
Yeah, I was in a mad panic. I was like, oh, we got to go right now. Like, who cares? It's not our pictures. It's not what's happening to us.
Why do you care what you look like? Let's go. And I was like, oh, it's kind of about us. And so then we get there and...
Early.
We get there early and...
For a 5 a.m. hot air balloon ride.
Yeah. And so then now Michelle's starting to panic because she's scared of heights and now her love for Heidi is dwindling. No, I'm kidding. And so she's like, how much do I love her? And so we're getting ready to go and they do have us check in, which, because they know obviously we're
the party, the engagement.
I paid for this whole thing. But they just don't know. I don't realize it because they don't look at our papers or introduce at the exact moment. They just know we're the party. They don't know which one of us is proposing or getting proposed to out of the four of us. And I guess that obviously matters because they want so the plan is we're going to get in the balloon. It's going to take off. And as it takes off, there will be a Marry Me, huge Marry Me sign unrolled out on the ground below us as we're taking off over it. And so they want to turn the balloon to the right person staring at it, because we're all kind of looking up. So we get in. I know the plan. I'm ready. I am so calm, like honestly so calm. And the only thing I had to do is, so Heidi's ring, because I'd also gotten her a wedding band as a surprise because she had wanted a wedding band as well. I got it was a much larger ring box than mine. So it had a light in it. It's really fancy, but there's no way you could carry this in any pocket.
No.
Mine, you can. Mine was a really beautiful wooden one, but but it's not made for her ring. Mine was. And so when I would put it in there, because that's the only thing I can stick in a pocket, it would easily come out. So I was like, okay, I really have to practice opening it slowly, like not in the moment quickly, right? Because it'll fly out. That was the plan. So I have it in my pocket. I chose a jacket I'm wearing just so it could fit. I practiced at home when she was gone one day to make sure I could stand. And so I kept purposely going on certain sides of her because I know she likes to grab my hand or whatever, and I don't want her to like, what's that in your pocket? Because she's the type that would ask. Because she would hit it and be like, what is that?
What are you carrying?
Yeah. And I'd be like, a weird phone. I mean, so I was like, what else can you say for this little ring box? It's so obvious. So I kept, being on certain sides of her. Well, at one point, she decides to come over on that side and go to like hug me from the side. And I've never turned so fast. I turned and just grabbed her and embraced her in a hug, a full hug. Okay. Because she was going to just come up and cuddle and like hook arms and go against me. And I just turned and hugged her. And I was like, I'm cold, keep me warm. And it worked. It worked. And then
I'm sorry you're cold.
Yeah, and then I instantly went to the other side of her so that wouldn't happen. So I'm really doing well. Yeah. So we get on the balloon, and, I'm turned talking to my friends because we're still on the ground. So I'm turned and, one of them's kind of looking at me like, and I'm like, no, you do stuff with your phone. I can't give, should I take your phone? I'm like, no, I'm always got my phone going, videotape, pictures. Like Heidi will know if all of a sudden I'm not holding my phone, and we're literally the first time ever in a hot air balloon. Because I'd never been in one either. None of us had. And I was very excited. So I'm like, no, I'll hold it. You just do on your phone. We also had a professional, someone paid there to do video and pictures. And so I turned to her girlfriend and I said, I will probably just hand you my phone so I don't have to be holding it. It might have the video running. You can just hold that as well so we can just get multiple video. So I'm telling her this and she's like, okay. And so I hear nothing. I don't feel us take off.
Well, and so I'm not paying I don't have any clue that
yeah, so Heidi's standing in front of me. And then I'm behind her, and then the two of them are behind me. It's quite a big area. So we're in this large basket, and then we have this section to ourselves. And it's bigger than I thought it would
big.
be.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, so I can like turn and talk to them. They're behind me. We're drinking champagne. So then I'm also worried because they're handing out champagne for the whole ride, which great. And of course, Michelle really loves that because she's anxious.
Like,
she needs it. But I'm like, I can't have Heidi holding champagne and me holding champagne and me going down on my knee. And so then I'm like, Michelle, you gotta drink up. And I'm having everyone hand their champagne glasses to Michelle. I'm like, you don't want to finish this, right? Give it to Michelle. And so I'm trying to figure all this out. And while I'm turned around, I turn back around. So Heidi.
So the pilot says, okay, everybody look over that way. And so I'm like, okay. And I turn and I see them roll out the Marry Me sign. And
so I don't know this has happened at all. I don't even know we've taken off the ground. I think we're still on the ground. Because I know it's going to happen when we take off. But I thought I would feel it. I thought I would hear it. I thought people would announce.
No.
Some of their videos, they do announce and they have everyone wave to the camera and scream as they take off and they say goodbye and everyone waves from the ground at them. So I was kind of expecting this kind of a party liftoff, but I think because they knew the proposal was happening, they didn't do that, which makes sense, but I just wasn't anticipating just silence. So I turned back around kind of like, okay, it's going to be time soon. I better get ready. We're probably going to take off soon. To turning around to see a Marry Me banner already out.
Oh, yeah.
And Heidi already looking at it. And I literally hear her say as I turn around, oh my gosh, kind of like that, like someone's getting proposed to. And I was like, oh shit, this is my cue. That person is me. So you see me, as you saw, instantly shoving my hand into my pocket, trying to rip the ring out of my pocket, and the box gets stuck on the pocket and I can't get it out. Of course, in my head, this takes like an hour. I get it out, I open it, but do I have time to think to slowly open it as I watch Heidi's body turning around? I'm supposed to be down on my knee. So I open it quickly, the ring flies out.
Hits me in the leg.
Which I had practiced so many times to not let happen. Hits Heidi in the back of the calf. I know it hits her. It falls on the ground. I drop to the ground on all, like, hands and knees, all fours. I am, like, desperate, pushing my hand. I cannot see. My sunglasses are on. The bright sun is now coming. We're in the sky. I am, like, desperate, like, dear God, please help me put my hand on the ring. Please put me, please. It's black. I can't see a thing. It's like pitch black down there. I see nothing. I thought I could not wait to watch the video because I thought it took so long.
With seconds.
It's seconds, but in my head.
It's not even. It's like
in my head,
a second and a half.
I could not find this ring.
She's dying. And
so
of course,
I grab it.
And I've seen the sign. And in my head, I'm like, oh, how sweet. And then I was like, oh, this might. Oh, so I start to kind of slowly turn to see what she's doing.
And when she turns, she can't see me.
I don't really, like, figure out that she's in a pan. I just see her down on the ground. And I was like, that's...
Well, by the time you turned around...
Yeah.
I watched on the video, which I didn't know because it was like out of body experience. But by the time you turned around, I was already on my knee with the box up as if it was completely planned.
So I see that and I just keep spinning.
Yeah. Right. So I'm so proud that by the time she got around, I quickly got it up as if nothing had happened. As if I had not been on the ground looking for a ring, people freaking out. I literally get it up and I'm on my knee and she just turns and then turns all the way back around.
I had to collect myself.
And so I was like, did she not see me because I'm way down here?
So she kind of goes...
So I stand, so I go all the way up. So now I'm crouched like awkwardly standing half on my legs in the air with it. And so that because she goes, and she turns around and goes, and turns the other way. And I'm like, no, I'm over. So she finally turns around with me now half awkwardly up and did my proposal. And of course people are shouting, did she say yes? And...
Yeah, it was pretty magic.
There was a moment where she looked down and she thought there was a hair on the ring from when it fell on the ground. It was actually a blue string that it caught from the ground. It was hanging off the diamond. So I quickly am yanking. I thought you'd see that on the video, but you don't. I yank a blue string off the diamond. And then you see Heidi take her ring that's on the hand where she's not going to get proposed. And it looks like she just chucks the ring. Like she's like, well, I don't need this anymore.
No, this is one of my favorites. So this is actually a ring that is a map of... like
my
New York,
apartment, like where my apartment is in the whole city of New York. But it looks like
I take it off though because I was like, that's not
fuck this ring. I want that one. So yeah. So and then we ended up. I was really excited. I just pushed stop on the video, but I have to tell you. So we went up to another. There was a lot of balloons in the sky, and we went up to another balloon and kind of like kissed them. And then as we backed away and they're going up, they screamed, did she say yes? And she said yes and shot her hand up with the diamond. And they all screamed from above us in the air, which was really amazing.
It was really cool.
Yeah, so I put, the video that we shot, but we did have a professional and it just, hopefully it wasn't too blurry. It rendered from a weird way, but I wanted you to see me, panicking with the ring.
Yeah, it was pretty magic. And and then we just had this phenomenal balloon. So, I wasn't paying very much attention to anything besides Lloydine, my hand.
I'm like, look out. This is amazing.
But it ended up because we tried to land.
So it's supposed to be probably an hour ride and ended up being an hour and a half instead.
Because we would try to land and then the wind would pick us up.
We couldn't land. So it's amazing. We ended up going over horses.
Yeah.
Touching down almost at horses.
There was like a citrus grove,
all the way down there.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We tried to land. It was really, really great.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And then we got the experience of them having to drag us through the balloon and spin us while we're on the ground.
Yeah.
And we got to watch the whole experience of them deflate. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was a really great... And then what's interesting, because, it was 5 a.m., right? So it's like 7:30.
Yeah,
and
so
we're
we
like
back.
down, I'm engaged.
Now it's like, let's go to brunch. So we go to brunch and celebrate, right? So
and then we had the
So then we go home and we go in the pool and the hot tub.
Yeah.
So we have a pool and hot tub. So that was the third thing. And we did that for hours. Then we went to couples massages. Mm-hmm. And then
more pool time.
Then they gave us the special like pool and hot tub access. And then they gave us chocolates and all these things. So then we got and go out on the veranda. So then we did all that for hours. And then we had dinner plans. So we went home and got ready and went to dinner.
So it felt like 3 days in one.
Yeah, she was like...
I was like, 2 days ago when we got engaged.
And I was like,
this morning. And I was like, oh yeah, this morning.
Yeah, and then we woke up another day and watched the balloons come in. And then it was like even more special experience because she'd just been on one.
Yeah.
And we had the greatest time with our friends. They were the greatest to travel with.
It was so fun.
And then there was a casino in town.
Dear God.
And so I decided we could not leave before Lloydine and Roulette hanging out. And...
yeah, we made money.
I won like $600 or something. Yeah. I think walked with 3. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So
We just had a completely magic weekend. It was so, and even with like the power outage and all that. I mean, I'm the kind of person who like, if it's perfect with no fun story,
it was
it's
so
not,
fun.
like
Yeah.
you want to have these details of like dropping the ring and having the ring.
Well, and
like,
they were so gracious about it. They comped us stuff because of it. I mean, already I was,
oh my gosh,
influencer and getting special, but then they also like sent us. I mean, we came
got
in a room with
chocolate covered strawberries.
chocolate strawberries. We had.
They're like, we're sorry about the power outage.
Yeah,
and
and champagne or like a big bottle of wine from the winery left for us. And then Heidi, when she came back, right after the proposal, I knew this was going to happen. Well, I didn't know because the power outage. I was worried that this surprise wouldn't happen, but they pulled it off. And the power just got back on. They ran over, and we walked in, and Heidi's talking and telling the story. I have the camera going, just standing there waiting for her to notice. She's like, "Da-da-da-da-da-da," and she looks and she goes, "What's all over?" Because there's like roses all the way up to the bed with the heart, and which is in the video, so I don't know why I'm acting like you don't know. But if you're on the podcast, there was roses, and it was amazing. And she was really excited, but she talked, and then all of a sudden she goes, "What's on our floor?" Yeah, and then chocolate covered strawberries.
Yeah.
And
I mean, honestly, if you are, even if you're not in the area, going to Temecula, going to
amazing.
South Coast, going to Carter Estates.
yeah,
I mean,
because
it's
I've
just,
been to Napa, but this was, I'm telling you,
it's unbelievable.
I chose it because I talked to a friend who knows, and I just said I really want a really great hot air balloon ride, and Heidi really wants to stay at a winery, and I'm trying to combine these things. And what I really want is where I can be, somewhere where I can just watch the balloons from,
our room.
And here we had our own like breakfast little outside balcony.
Well, we had like a bungalow all to ourselves.
Yeah, a whole bungalow,
like,
and
the
then
outside had this table and chairs
and patio,
Yeah.
and that overlooked the vineyard, and literally empty vineyard that we could just walk in and see like the different grapes. And oh my gosh, it was amazing.
And we were, we went between the two properties because of her job, and I mean, it was just
both of them were amazing.
not a miss. Not a miss.
So Carter Estate would be, I would say, like the more private, romantic, feel, which is what we loved.
And it was gorgeous and calm.
And then South Coast is,
there's a spa there.
it's happening and big and
bigger pools and stuff, but but still never like no overcrowding.
Oh, no, we had
a
a good sized pool and hot tub and
I think
to
probably the
ourselves,
best massage of my entire life.
It was so great,
it was unbelievable.
It was, I'd say, the best massage of my life too.
Yeah. So we just had the best, and then the wine tasting. So the wine tasting.
And I'm sure it sounds like I'm saying all of this. Sorry to interrupt you, because I was working for them, but the truth is my job is already over, so I don't have to say any of this. And This is all real. I'm
and
this
I'm not
excited
working
by
for them.
I'm this excited about them, like it's not for
No,
their job.
we're gonna go back. I'm not working for them, and I loved every second of it. And like she said, when we had the wine tasting, I thought it was going to be really fun for me to kind of discover some new wines and, figure all of that out. Because I'm the wine drinker. We have wine in the house, but it's for me.
Yeah.
And so for her to be excited about wine and to do the tasting all together, it was really just not a miss.
The wine was great.
The wine's amazing.
And so reasonably priced. I
You
thought
wouldn't
it was a
believe
joke.
it. Yeah.
I thought it was like the special price or something. I couldn't believe how...
That's why we signed up, because it
couldn't
was
believe
like
it, yeah.
we would spend more than this for not as good of wine.
At the grocery store.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. You have to go. If you get a chance, Temecula, South Coast Winery, Carter's Estate, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It really was. And of course, for us, it will always hold a special place because what a magic weekend, right?
Yeah. So, the private, entrance thing we had was at Carter Estate. And it was like no other. Yeah. So that was...
That was our
engagement.
second proposal.
Yeah, our second proposal. So we're engaged again. So everyone, Heidi has her ring. And I'm pretty proud of it. It was her dream ring.
It's my dream ring.
So I was pretty excited. And
yeah.
And
I mean, it's everything I had hoped it would be. So, and actually, it's more than what I hoped it would be.
It turned out so well. I'm not going to lie, I put it on my hand quite a few times. So it's rose gold. Which really makes it just pop and sparkle. And it has a hidden halo, which you probably can't see, but it has a hidden halo all the way around. And so that's what makes it just really sparkle. And then the band is a 3D band. Which
3D pave.
Yeah, so it has diamonds on all sides, the top and both sides. So there's literally no area without diamonds. So it goes 3 sides around. Yeah. Not around, that's the wrong thing to say, because who wants diamonds all the way around, that'll hurt. But, you know, like 3 sides of the band have diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable.
Well, you're special. And I got my dream ring, so look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us. So that's our story. And
So now we are full on into wedding planning.
yeah, and it's something.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I love looking at wedding dresses. I get very excited. I've been posting. I'll be posting more because I've been doing it so much. But I don't like people to make decisions for me, but I don't like having to make decisions. And I don't like having lots of options.
The problem is because she's a model, she can. She's literally built to showcase anything. I mean, I'm not even like, yeah, I like her a little bit, but that, like, literally no bias. Her body is designed and she is trained to wear and model things so other people want to buy it, right? So when she's going to try on wedding dresses, it's not like when I go. When I go, there are clearly dresses that I should never wear, ever, right? That I should not put on my body. There are some dresses I can't put on my body. And then there are other dresses where I'm like, okay, so this style looks good on me, right? So I have it narrowed down automatically. For her, she walks in and it's like, well, this would be great. And no one else has ever put it on and looked good in it, ever.
Well,
right?
They get really excited because they want me to, you know, because
they want to wear a certain kind.
They're like, try this because of your size, and try this, and you know, and they're putting the clamps and showing me, and it's hard because they'll ask me what style I like, and it makes me like so many different types, and it is just, whew, my brain. But
so I have mine narrowed down to 1 already.
Yeah.
And this one is like, I don't know, there's like 10 that are fine, and
I did have one from the beginning that was like my ultimate favorite. But it was going to be custom designed, and just for some surprise and kind of some stuff we're doing, I just decided that was probably not the way I should go. And so now I'm going to choose, you know, a dress from designer where it's already, you know, made instead of custom. And so that's been hard, you know, and so now that's going to always be in my head when I'm comparing it against, so that makes it hard too. But we're getting some narrowed down. We're getting it there. So we're going to get there. And our light went off. We're in the dark. But, all right, guys. Well, till next time. Bye.
Bye.